Hi everyone and welcome to today's General Hospital Recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. I'm going to say this at the top of the episode, usually say it at the end, but I'm going to say it at the top this time. This week we are voting for Best Tumultuous Relationship of the Week, so you can leave your votes down in the comments. And full disclosure, ECAT might not show up in this video because she was laying on me before and I had to get up so I could film this video. I took a picture though. Yeah, sound asleep. Yeah, she's not happy. I mean, she's over there on the tote. She's over it, but she just might not come back because she's punishing all of us. It's not fair. But let's get right to today's recap because next week I am relinquishing pretty much full control over to my mom. We're going to film on her phone, pick out some new filters. It's going to be fun. So let's get, this is the last day with just me for a while. So let's get right to it. At Alexis's place, Sonny demands to know what is going on in that picture. And he brings up Julian and how he's going to get off the charges if Alexis doesn't chill. So Sonny wants to talk about Christina, and she didn't ask for this. She didn't have to ask to have her face and situation plastered all over the newspapers. So Alexis tells him the circumstances of the picture, that it's obvious, like, in the full context, so he understands it wasn't like this, this ridiculous thing, like she was grabbing her to stop her, and yes, it was wrong, but it wasn't like this whole violent encounter. So she reassures him she's fully prepared to testify against Julian. That hasn't changed. And what Nina said to her about Julian being convinced that there's still a future for them somewhere and that Alexis loves him. So yeah, so then Sonny leaves and Christina comes in and she tells her Parker did pocket dial her, and guess what? She's going back to her wife. Alexis apologizes for trying to stop Christina from seeing Parker, and they have a real heart-to-heart, and Alexis isn't sure about herself anymore, but she is sure that Christina will help her find her way. Here's my lighting. I totally forgot to do that. So at the jail, Ava visits Julian, and he's accepted his fate. He's like, well, I guess I'll just get used to this cell, because I'll be living in it for the rest of my life, or one like it. And I'm like, yeah. Julian sounds a lot like me when I get like frustrated sometimes. I'm like, oh, I guess this is my life now. And he's not hopeful about his chances against Paul, and she doesn't want him to surrender, and she says that, she's always going to be there for him. He may have lost everyone, but at least he has a loyal sister. Remember that part. And my idea is maybe turn your focus to the governor about a pardon. He's someone who pardoned Sonny because he saved his daughter, even though Sonny was a convicted murderer who had escaped from jail. Like, I don't know, maybe there's enough money to get the governor to, maybe think Julian's some kind of hero, or orchestrate something. I don't know, do something. I'm just throwing out ideas here, it's an impossible situation. So after Ava leaves, Sonny comes to visit. And remember that time they were jail besties? I know, I kind of miss it a little bit. I don't think I appreciated it fully when it was happening. Maybe I did. I feel like I did. But, retrospect. So Sonny says he has one chance to save his life. And I'm like, I am intrigued. And he says what Nina had said about Julian thinking he has a future with Alexis, and Sonny tells him to plead guilty to save Alexis from having to testify, and then when he inevitably goes to jail, Sonny will let him live. Oh, Saint Sonny, right? So at the GH Gods, what if / when Julian does go to prison, can we get Johnny's car back, please? Julian is like, no, not happening. And I don't know, I'm not in this life, but like, I think I'd be the same, because I don't know if I would trust Sonny's protection in jail. Like, I don't know. Protection from your enemy is pretty much the same as not having any protection from your enemy in my experience that I don't have. So he tells him that from this moment on, well, Sonny tells Julian that from this moment on, Alexis is dead to him. Like, don't even try to talk to her again. She won't talk to you. At the Metro Court, Naomi and Hayden are having a pricey lunch at the Metro Court, and Hayden's like, how are you going to pay for this? And Naomi's like, well, just when we're done tomorrow, I'll call the credit card company and say that my card was stolen, and then poof, no charges. And I'm like, okay, that's credit card fraud, and that's low. I don't know, that's low. That's what people do who's always had money and that don't know how to cope with not having money. Because all of us who like had never, you know, reached that level, like we've all just been at this level, like we don't commit credit card fraud. What are you doing, lady? So Naomi gets a call. She tells Hayden that they should meet back up when, you know, she's done doing what she's doing. So it's Heather and she wants something. Of course she does. And Paul, Tracy, and Dylan are also having their lunch, but Dylan's late, but comes in just in time to hear Paul say that how this case is his highest priority and he doesn't have time for this. And Dylan's like, well, I don't want to do this anyway. But so Dylan sits down. He's literally having no fun. And I've had a dinner similar to this, not with the parents, but just like with people that you just know it's not gonna go well, and you can't even eat because it's just so stressful, and you're just like, oh, I can't. And Paul gets super defensive when Dylan brings up Paul's other kids, especially Susan, and nothing says I love you like getting it sternly kind of yelled at you. I love you, Dylan. Okay, I love you. Okay, sounds convincing. I'm convinced. Father of the Year. I lost my voice for a second. So Paul's phone rings and it's Ava. She texted him that she wants to help with Julian. You didn't see that, but I was doing jazz hands. So Paul tells Dylan that Tracy is worried about him slipping down a slope. And I'm like, okay, good job. Now go do what you're doing, Paul. Go do what you're doing. At the hospital, Franco talks to Elizabeth. He has a meeting with the hospital board about his suspension, and he brings her toast with, I believe, it looks like grape jelly. That's kind of has a happy face in it, and that's exactly how I eat my toast when I have toast out at a diner, so I approve. I think Franco just moved up a few spots on my list. They talk about their date. And also in the hospital, Kevin texts Laura to please give him another chance. He's sorry. I'm on the fence. Kevin is ready for Franco. Apparently he's like going to be advising the board whether he thinks Franco is acceptable or not. But he's not the end all be all. So Franco calls Monica demonica, like demonica or demonic. There you go, demonica. And Kevin's like, you should probably not do that. And then Franco also says this line that I wanted to pass off to you that watch these videos and don't necessarily get a chance to see the show, but Franco thinks so highly of Elizabeth. He literally says Elizabeth is known for her integrity. I'm just letting that sit. I have nothing else to say. I just want to pass that along to you. Do with it what you will. So Kevin's like, all right, I'll get Elizabeth like on your list of like not character witnesses, but people who could like testify that like you're a good person. So Franco asks Kevin for advice on like date ideas that don't exactly cost anything a lot. And Kevin and Elizabeth talk about Franco, and he's like, well, I can't tell you like the specifics, but I can tell you Franco is quite taken with you. I don't know what's happening with the banks today. It's a hot mess. So Elizabeth talks to Kevin about Nicholas and wanting to make something right, but she has a chance to make something right, but she's not sure if she's doing it for her or to honor Nicholas. And he says for her to trust her instincts. And I was like, that's someone who doesn't know Elizabeth very well. At Windermere, Laura gets a call from Kevin. She doesn't pick up, and someone's at the door. It's Robert Scorpio, and I am literally the happiest person on earth. So he's on a mission from Luke. He got a call from him approximately 10 hours ago, and he mentioned all the messages that Luke's been getting, and Laura fills him in on the skeleton, Luke stuff, yada yada yada. And Luke apparently told Robert he's sorry for not to pass on a message that he's sorry for not answering all them. He's been dealing with some stuff. So, but wait, there's more. We're in an infomercial. Luke has a warning. So it's a warning about Valentine Cassadine, and Laura's like, a little late, and he's like, no. Luke isn't convinced that this arrest is like the end-all be-all. He thinks, and Robert thinks, there should be increased security around Spencer because Spencer is the only person, but standing between Valentine and the Cassadine fortune. And Valentine's still lurking, and personally that makes me happy because I like the guy who plays Valentine. If it wasn't him, I'd probably be like, lurk somewhere else, Valentine, but since it's him, I'm like, hey, Valentine, lurk closer to Port Charles. But don't hurt Spencer. Don't mistake me for thinking don't hurt Spencer. Like, lurk without hurting Spencer. Maybe a little kidnapping just for the drama, but don't hurt him. I kid. A little bit. it's a soap opera. We're allowed to watch some drama, okay? So Hayden comes in, Laura's packing up Spencer's things, and she says, the school in France has extra security that they're going to need, especially with Valentine. But Hayden asks Laura to say goodbye to Spencer for her. She still doesn't agree with the boarding school idea, but there's nothing she could do. So Kevin adults himself over to Windermere. I apologize for the pun, but he literally says, I hate to show up uninvited. What was expected of me? It was set up just for me to say something about it. Like, I couldn't not. So what's gonna happen there? At the high security place Heather's at, that I totally forgot the name of, Naomi comes to see Heather, and Heather has found out Naomi is behind on payments. And apparently Naomi got a settlement from the government that gives her 6 figures a year. Lady, you're talking about committing credit card fraud, and you're still making more than the majority of people in the United States. Are you kidding me? Naomi. Just since, like, even let's assume it's $100,000. Like, I could live a year on $100,000. I could probably live 2 years on $100,000. What? Oh my goodness, that's a lot of Chipotle. Anyway, so Franco comes in time to hear Heather demand her past 3 months of hush money. So Naomi leaves, and Franco recognizes her as Hayden's mother. So Heather is like, she obviously doesn't want to say anything, she's being paid not to, but like she kind of says something about Hayden taking or not taking after her father. I didn't really catch that. And that puts a flag up for Franco, and he's like, how do you know more about Hayden's father, but you claim you like don't even know her mother, and you don't even know who Hayden is. But then he like glosses over it because he has bigger fish to fry. So he asks her for a loan of the mystery money, and Heather says her funds are going to dry up, which I'm confused because like maybe a month, 2 months ago, she said she had like $1.5 million, and like, what has happened to that money? Like, you can't spend that much money in a month and a half. Well, I'm sure someone can, but you can't from like does she have to pay to be in that institution? Like, it's a federal institution, I thought. Like, what is happening here? Where is that money? What's going on? So he asks if Naomi is her source of money, and Heather's like, yeah, but like she doesn't think I could do anything from in here, so she's not paying me. And Franco's like, well, I'll be your collection agency outside of this institution, just tell me what's going on. And Heather's like, Back at the Metro Court, I know, lots of stuff going on today. Robert runs into Paul and asks him how the Jerome case is going. He's asking for Anna, and Paul begrudgingly like lists the evidence and basically says, look, it's an airtight case, and even like, we got this. So Dylan politely asked Tracy not to set up a lunch like this again. Just don't do it. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. I wholeheartedly agree with him. At the PCPD, Ava tells Paul she may be able to get Julian to plead guilty in exchange for consideration at sentencing. And Paul's like, but I'll cut a deal with you. And Ava's like, what? So he's like, you testify against Julian about Carlos and Duke. And she's like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. He's my brother. I love him. This, that, and the other thing. And Paul's like, well, or else the recording will show up and I'll have another case. The people of New York against Ava Jerome. And she's like, oh, you wouldn't. And I'm like, lady, why is this a surprise to you? Like, he has, like, the highest card against you. Why do you think he's not going to use it? And plus, like, so that pretty much seals that deal because Ava's not going to get herself sent to prison. Because something I've noticed about the two Jeromes, Julian and Ava, they love until it comes to sacrificing themselves. And then all of a sudden it's like, I love you, but I'm not gonna do that. It's like that song, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And I'm not saying like I would like throw myself in jail for someone. I'm just saying like these are people who've taken that risk in life. I don't know. I don't mean to be judgy. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Now end scene, yes. Okay, so Robert calls Anna. He has a good update that there's an airtight case against Jerome. Julian tells Sonny he will be acquitted. So I kind of like this though, the whole like internal struggle, but when it comes to your enemies, you like hold firm and like you don't let them know your weakness. Like, all right, I mean, it's not like a foolproof thing because obviously you're fronting, but it's better than that. So anyway, so Sonny says his deal expires when the trial starts, and Julian says that Julian has to do is tell Alexis Sonny's whole little plan, and Alexis is going to stop Sonny. And I'm like, dude, in what world? And then he still holds strong that Alexis loves him and they'll be together. Okay, so like delusional Julian's back. But again, like holding strong, fronting, but still fronting is fronting. So anyway, Laura is going to France with Spencer, at least to get him settled in, and she might stay until she's ready to come back. And, you know, Spencer wants to go, and Kevin's like, running away won't help. And she's like, it's not running away. Like, we have reasons for this. There's just too much going on here. And it's better over there. So he wishes her safe travels and leaves. Sonny asks Paul for an update about the trial. You know, this much talking about an upcoming trial to people who aren't court officials could get the case kind of like, you know, in some hot water. I'm just saying. I took some years of law, you know, in high school and STEM tech, like, you know. If anyone wants to send me to law school, just let me know. I will be willing to take that tuition money. I'll tell you more about that later. Okay, so Ava gets a drink at the Metro Court, and Hayden's there too, and they recognize each other. Hayden asks if Nicholas suffered, and Ava's like, no, not any more than when he was married to you. I'm like, girl, really, Ava? I have mixed feelings about that, but it made me smile a little bit in the worst way. So Ava warns Hayden that Elizabeth is determined to send her over to the feds, and Hayden's like, yeah, she doesn't have anything on me. I'd like to see her try. And then Ava's like, she has a little on you, little sparkly things on you. The diamonds. Liz calls Jordan and says that she has evidence related to Hayden Barnes, and Heather says Naomi pays her to be quiet about her past with Jeff Weber. And that's all I got for you today. So don't forget to vote in the comments for the best tumultuous relationship of the week. Extra 5 points for vocabulary, by the way. I love that word. That and plethora. Just, I love those words. And also, okay, so recap. Boom, officially over. And now for some announcements. So Monday and Tuesday are, I got lipstick on my finger, are your last 2 days with me, and we will be, me and my mom will be sharing those days, and then she's taken over until I come back. The 7th is going to be a bit late because my train's getting in close to 4 o'clock, so it might be a joint thing, it might just be me, we'll see. I might just sleep the whole time, so we will see on that. And really exciting stuff coming up. I have some videos planned for Montana. I'm going to vlog my way there. Unfortunately, I solved a decades-old mystery that I was going to make a video about, so X-day that. And I'm going to wait, and I'm going to film Ecatter at Montana because I think that'll be fun and cool. Ooh, I'm not bringing my tripod. It's okay. We'll deal with it. And is that all? I think that's all. Oh, that little remark I made about going to law school. So I was like always really good in my high school law classes, and my teacher in senior year was actually a former defense attorney, and he was like, you should go to law school. You should go to law school. You'd be really, really good. I was like, okay, that's great. Will you pay for it? Because I cannot. And unfortunately, I didn't wind up going to law school, even though I would have loved to. Although I was always good at the defense side, so I was like, maybe it's for the greater good that I'm not a lawyer. But in any event, I will see you not tomorrow. I will see you Monday for more General Hospital. Oh my goodness, this trip, I can't even. It came so fast. It was like a month away, and now it's like right here. But I am rambling now. So I will see you then, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.